guys, my name is Michael and welcome to a new tutorial. Today I'm going to introduce you the new version of CodeBlocks 20.03, which I was informed that came out in March this year. I didn't know it has a new features and so on, and I am here today to show you the way how you can install it into your Linux Mint. I'm using right now, as you can see, Linux Mint with the version 19.3 64-bit cinnamon. That being said, I'm going to close this window, and the first thing first which you need to know is that I have a fresh installed Linux, which means I had nothing installed, nothing more than just the Kazam, the application which helps me to record the desktop, and nothing more. And the only commands which I issued was update, upgrade, and dist upgrade, which I'm going to do it again, so that to be sure that you know exactly what you have to do before you follow this tutorial. You need to update and upgrade your system. Once that you see that everything looks fine, the next thing, we are going to CodeBlocks.org, and as you can see, once that you go here, you see CodeBlocks 20.03 is here. So it was released like 19 March 2020, which is a good thing. The first thing which you need to do is to go and click on downloads, and then because we are going to build it, we are going to click on download the source code. And on the right side here, where you have the download from, I'm going to click on sourceforge.net. We are going to have to wait a little bit. I'm going to click accept. I accept, and now, as you can see here, your download link will start shortly. It should start in a second. I'm going to click here, no thank you. And as you can see, something is not working. I need to go back, and I'm going to click again on it. Now let's see if everything is fine. I hope so. And yes, you see 4, 3, 2, 1, and now the download is starting. I'm going to say save. Okay, we are going to have to wait a little bit until it's done. Now I right click right here and open the containing folder. Once that you are in the downloads, we don't need the browser anymore. We need only the downloads right now. Right click on it, extract here. This is the faster way. You will have to wait until it's done. And once that is done, you can safely open your terminal, which I'm going to do in a second. I'm going to close this one right here to be much more clear what we are doing here. It's take a little bit because this tiny laptop which I use right now is not so fast, but it's working anyway. CodeBlocks, it is a idea which a lot of people, they say that it's old, that it gets now updated, and so well, they was wrong. And as you can see, we have a new 2020 version which we can use it and work with it. It takes just a little bit more to extract it. I'm going to hit the pause for a second, and I'm going to come back. Now, as you can see, the CodeBlocks is done. It was extracted successfully, which means at this point we are going to open it. Once that you are here, right click and open in terminal, just to be sure that you are in the right place. I'm going to maximize it and list, of course, what we have inside, which means that at this point we can proceed with compiling our CodeBlocks. As you can see, here we have the configure, which tells us everything about what we need. So right click on it and paste it, and I'm going to hit enter. We'll see which dependency first is missing, and we have here something says config error, C compiler cannot create executable. We have a compiler, of course we have it, which is the GCC, which version we are going to check right now. It is 7.5.0, but as you can see here, it says it cannot create executables, which means we need to install G++. So sudo apt get install G++. That's it. Hit the enter after you type your password, and then as you can see it will be installed. G++ multilab together with some documentation from the GCC, and of course the lib standard standard C++ as well. Anyway, once that is done, you can basically create executable after you have it. This is the part which set the configure. Once that is done, you can again type configure again, or you hit just the up arrow and find it right here, enter, and you have to wait to check again the next thing which is missing. And let's see what's the next thing which configure says it is missing. It is the thing which we needed. Yes, it is the VX widget library, no problem. Sudo apt get install lib VX GTK, how is call it? Let me see, GTK 3 right here. This one we needed 3.0 minus development. This is what we need. I'm going to hit enter again. We have to wait a little bit until it's done. It takes now not too much time, but it should work fine. The next thing which you are going to see, I'm somehow surprised about the next missing library, which you will see in a second. It is about the GTK 2, which means they didn't drop the support for GTK 2, which means with the new CodeBlocks you still can work with GTK 2, and that may be because they noticed that at least Linux Mint they didn't drop the GTK 2 library and you can still use it. And this is a good thing for you to know if you really have to do that, all those things called GTK 2. Anyway, you should upgrade to GTK 3 and think about GTK 4, because that's important now. It's important to concentrate yourself on GTK 4 and work only with GTK 3 and not with GTK 2. But if you need it, well, the configurer right now it will tell you that you need it, and because you need it right here, we need now the glib. I forgot about it. So sudo apt get install lib glib nope, lib yes, now 2.0 minus dev, yes, right here. Now we have to wait until it is done, until it gets installed as well. I know it's a little bit complicated to follow all these things, but I wanted to be sure that you understand the thing you are compiling and why you need what you need when you run the configurer. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because I just could show you exactly what you need and proceed, but I want to be sure that you understand those things, because it is very important for you to understand. Now it is the part, I'll hit the configure again. It is the part which I was talking about. It is the part where the CodeBlocks gets compiled and give you support for GTK 2, but not for GTK 3. To work with GTK 3 in CodeBlocks, as you can see right now, to work with GTK 3, you probably saw already another video of me of how getting or setting up the CodeBlocks to work with GTK 3. I'm going to show you something very special. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you compile your code blocks to work with GTK3 instead of GTK2, so that you create a new project, a new GTK project all the time. We will see about that in another video. Anyway, now we need the GTK3 3.0 it should be, but we need the GTK3 development right here. So GTK -3 -dev, because without it it will not work, the compilation of the code blocks with GTK3. Anyway, I want to show you something which is very important, so that you understand why I'm doing this. After I'm installing in right now the GTK3 library, the code blocks said it needs a GTK2 greater or equal to GTK2. I just installed the GTK library version 3, which means it should comply with the needs of the compilation. But you will see something very interesting just in a second. It takes it doesn't take so much time as probably you think. It's just setting in some other libraries which needs. And now, because we basically follow the configurator where we were installing a library which is equal or greater than GTK2, it should work. At least you think that maybe it should work, which was my thinking also. Now watch, I hit the configure again. Remember, we have the GTK3, which means it's a library bigger than GTK2, the way how the configure was telling you. I think, I'm not sure, I want to be sure 100% right now. So we have to wait a little bit. And now says, you see, config error, package requirement GTK2 greater or equal to 2. You see, we have 3. It's not working, which means you need the GTK2 2.0 minus development. We need it. You see right here. This is what you need if you want to compile your code blocks with the GTK library version 2. Now we have to wait a little bit, and once that we have it, we can proceed. I think we have everything, all those missing dependencies which we were needing. Just a second, and it's done. And now I think this one is the last configure call, which is the call which creates executable for our make command. It in a second. Yes, we have the GTK2, which is good. And now, as you can see, it says creating those files, config status. This is a good thing for us. This is a thing which we were all have been waiting for. A few seconds more, and we are done with the configure. And the make should be ready. Now the next thing which we need, as you can see here, says you can build now code blocks in SUI make, and later with a root or with sudo make install. Now I'm going to run make, which is a long journey. It will take a little bit to finish. That depends of your computer or laptop, how much memory you have, and what kind of processor you are using. I don't have a fast one on this tiny laptop. For this reason, I'm going to hit pause, and we are going to see us back when the make is done. So I'm going to hit pause now. Now, as you can see, make got its job done. Sorry. Now we can proceed with sudo make install. Of course, We need a password again because it took too much time, but it will be fine and it will be installed. A little bit more and it is done. Just a few seconds more. And now it's done. Now, because everything worked fine and everything should work fine, if you at this point go to start in your menu, you won't see nothing. You won't find the code blocks. For this, this is just archive. For this, to make it work, you need to, or at least to have it inside your menu, you need to log out or reboot. But even if you do that, if you try to run it, you will see that it's not working. And if you try to run it from your terminal, you will see that it says error while loading shared libraries. Lib CodeBlocks cannot open shared object file, no such file or directory. Of course it is there, but it doesn't find it. For this you need to issue a command which is sudo ld config, just like this. Hit enter, and now if you type again CodeBlocks like I did here, you will see that works fine and runs without problems. Like now you need to decide about the GCC compiler, what you are using. I'm going to set as default, which it is, and then press OK. And now we have CodeBlocks. As you can see, if we go now to help, about, you will see open source cloud platform CodeBlocks, which is 20.0. At this point everything looks fine and should work fine as well. If you go to create a new project like console application, in this case I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to choose C, and then let's say C demo, choose a working directory. Me, I choose all the time the templates one, and then once that we have it, go to next, finish. On the right side where the management you have it, click on the plus before your source, double click on the main, and here you have it. Compile it and run it. As you can notice, it is not working because we have no default terminal. If you go to settings, environment, then you will notice that terminal to launch console programs, it is called Xterm, which you don't have it. If you want to work with Xterm, then just go and install it. I'm not going to do right now because I need to close the CodeBlocks. Sudo apt get install Xterm. Or if you have another one, like me, I'm going to choose the GNOME one, the GNOME terminal. Right here, I'm going to click on it. OK, very important for you, not build it, rebuild it, this blue button right here, and press yes. And now if you compile it, you will notice that everything looks fine and everything works fine as well. And it should work fine. I mean, why is not working? Let me see. Let me go back. Environment, GNOME terminal. OK, maybe I need to close it and open it again. It's not working. Let me close it. Yes, I'm going to run it again. Oh, not making install. Sorry, no problem. It's nothing bad. I'm just installing again the same one. This happens when you type fast. So I'm going to wait a little bit until it's done. It will be in a matter of seconds. Okay, it should be done right now. Just a little bit more. This is not exactly what I wanted. To hit the make install again. Now I'm going to do sudo ld config again, and of course CodeBlocks. Now let me see if it's working as it should. If not, you just need to log out and log back. Yes, it is not working, which means you need to xterm. Let me see. I'm going to install it. Takes a little bit time, just a few seconds. And now I'm going to close it because I already noticed where the problem was, but no problem. I'm going to open the terminal again. I'm going to run the CodeBlocks, and you'll see that works fine. The problem was me, because once that I change it, let me go back to environment. I'm going to choose back the xterm because I just installed it, just to show you that it's working, running, and of course you see it works fine. And of course, if I go to environment and choose this time the GNOME terminal, okay, rebuild it, yes, once that I hit build and run, it is right here in another tab. You see hello world. It was just another tab. That was the reason why I didn't see it. Anyway, one thing which is very important for you guys is that in the next video, the second part of CodeBlocks, I'm going to show you a way how you can compile your CodeBlocks 20.03 together with GTK3, so that you can open a new project and work directly with GTK3. I'm going to show you how it's working. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.